walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
T.I.'s son, King Harris has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected to his act.
Stand by right here for me. 32, I'm 10 extend, 1 detain. Spread your legs slightly. I just need to pat you down.
When T.I.'s son King was getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat in the media, that to me he just looked like a young kid that wanted to prove to his father that he was a man too.
Wait till I come back in the market late night, and then it's just you and I slap you up. Yeah. You trying to act off, son? All like this in front of all your peeps. Tell your mama I said Happy Mother's Day. And then Karen in my face.
Every so often, a celebrity story erupts that feels bigger than gossip, bigger than headlines. It feels like a cultural earthquake. That's exactly what's happening right now with King Harris, the son of T.I. and Tiny, whose life has taken such a brutal turn that even veteran insiders are stunned. The news hit like a thunderclap. King, bloodied and battered, lying in intensive care after a savage ambush inside a Georgia prison. What happened wasn't just another scuffle behind bars. Whispers say it was a calculated strike, the kind that leaves scars not just on the body, but on an entire family legacy. And the deeper we dig, the darker the picture becomes.
Like this being shit. This being shit. No, I'm being real. You lying. You lying. You over here flagging. You're cat.
My son, think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep it up, his ass going to prison.
The first reports painted a scene straight out of a crime thriller. Guards scrambling through chaos, inmates locked down in panic, and King barely conscious after what insiders are calling a targeted hit. Witnesses say he was dragged to safety while the block erupted in violence, a full-blown melee that left several inmates injured. But here's the chilling part. This wasn't random. Rumors point to a coordinated ambush, a warning delivered in the language of prison power. For someone like King, who entered those walls with fame and privilege attached to his name, survival was always going to be different. And this attack was a brutal reminder that reputation on the outside means nothing inside.
Yeah, so him being arrested isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, you know, it just...
It been able to do that if it wasn't for Family Hustle. Right. That does come with some, you know, it's some adversity. It's some adversity to come with that. People get in your bed.
The moment the news broke, the internet lit up like wildfire. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Feeds flooded with sympathy, shock, and plenty of mockery. Some fans prayed for his recovery, but others weren't so kind, accusing him of finally meeting the reality he'd tried so hard to play tough against. Memes spread faster than facts, with users mocking his image as a privileged kid gone gangster. But beneath the noise, one thing became clear. People couldn't look away, and as speculation piled up, many began to wonder if this was just the beginning, or if King was marked for more violence to come. Behind those walls, King wasn't just another inmate. Sources claim he'd already made enemies weeks before the attack, flaunting confidence that rubbed others the wrong way. Some say he tried to stand on business, walking like he owned the block, a move that only fueled resentment. Others whispered warnings, "Keep your head down or you'll pay the price." But King didn't listen. He pushed the image of being untouchable, forgetting that in prison, arrogance is blood in the water. And those whispers, they didn't stay whispers for long.
I graduated. That's the only good thing they posted of me going viral. I'm not on the media's good side. I don't know why, but it ain't.
Inside prison reached out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Taylor that my clients want justice, So if the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in and admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny and T.I.
They turned into fists, chaos, and a near-deadly message. While King fought for his life, the Harris household erupted into emergency mode. T.I. reportedly hasn't slept, calling attorneys, politicians, and anyone who might pull strings in the system. One Atlanta insider even claimed Tip was ready to write blank checks, sign NDAs, anything just to protect his son before it's too late. Tiny, meanwhile, has been running her own war room, calling lawyers, publicists, and allies in the media. But behind that united front, cracks are showing. Arguments between the two have reportedly turned explosive, with each blaming the other for King's downfall. The family, once branded as unshakable, is now unraveling under the weight of panic, blame, and desperation. If this were just about bruised egos and trash talk, maybe the story would end there. But the whispers go deeper. Multiple sources claim the ambush was tied to a failed contraband deal inside the prison. Some say King refused to play ball. Others claim he tried to finesse the wrong crew. And in a place where loyalty is everything, that's a death sentence. Even more suspicious, cameras in the area went mysteriously dark during the ambush. The Department of Corrections insists it was a glitch, but few believe that. As one former associate put it, in Georgia, cameras break when someone wants them to. If that's true, then King wasn't just attacked, he was set up. This isn't the first time the Harris family's private chaos has exploded in public. Fans haven't forgotten the viral moment at a Falcons game when T.I. physically restrained King during an argument, shouting at him about embarrassment and respect. At the time, many thought it was King's lowest point, but now, that moment looks less like rock bottom and more like a warning sign, a public glimpse into a downward spiral that was still unfolding. For years, King's image has been torn between privilege and rebellion, and this prison ambush feels like the ugly collision of those two worlds. As if the prison chaos wasn't enough, the Harris family's long history of controversy continues to circle overhead like vultures. The shadow of those trafficking allegations, never proven but never forgotten, has stained the family name for years. Accusers have threatened to drop explosive receipts, rumors that King himself could be dragged deeper into the storm. Whether true or not, inside prison walls, those whispers are enough to paint a target on your back. Inmates don't need proof, they need an excuse. And with the Harris name already tangled in scandal, King's very identity became ammunition for rivals looking to humiliate him. Behind closed doors, T.I. and Tiny are reportedly clashing harder than ever before. Tiny wants to protect their son, blaming the system and outside forces for his suffering. T.I., on the other hand, is said to be growing combative, insisting King needs discipline and force, not sympathy. This divide is tearing at the very core of their relationship. For years, they've survived reality TV cancellations, lawsuits, and public feuds. But insiders say this crisis is worse than all of them combined. The stakes aren't just about their marriage anymore. They're about their family's survival and legacy. Zooming out, King's story reflects a harsher reality about prison itself. High-profile inmates aren't safer, they're targets. Some guards admit off the record that famous names become bargaining chips in Poe. Struggles. King wasn't just fighting other inmates. He was fighting the weight of jealousy, resentment, and long-standing rivalries. And the attacks weren't just physical. In prison, psychological warfare cuts just as deep. Every stare, every rumor, every whispered insult can be the first step toward another ambush. King's background, his privilege, his reality TV past only made him a bigger target. To men serving decades, he wasn't a peer, he was a pawn. With King clinging to life, the fallout is spilling beyond the prison walls. The Harris children are being dragged into speculation. Paternity rumors resurface, and family disputes are going viral again. Every leak, whether from guards or so-called family friends, adds fuel to the fire. And with every headline, the Harris legacy takes another hit. For years, T.I. built his brand on resilience, power, and respect. Now that image is cracking under the weight of scandal, violence, and fear. No amount of media spin or crisis management can change the cold truth. In prison, the only real currency is survival, and survival doesn't come easy. So where does this story end? Is King Harris just another casualty of fame? A young man raised to believe he was untouchable until reality proved otherwise? Or is there something deeper, something darker, fueling this chaos that still hasn't come to light? The whispers of setup, betrayal, and unfinished business suggest this saga is far from over. What began as one brutal ambush may be only the first chapter in a story that threatens not just King's life, but the entire Harris family legacy. And as the world watches, one thing is certain: behind those prison walls, fame doesn't save you. It makes you a target.